Welcome to Cultural Lens. I'm Amanda, and today we're exploring common misconceptions about Vietnam beliefs that often shape how people view this vibrant nation.
Hello, I'm Adara, and as someone from Vietnam, I've encountered many of these misconceptions firsthand. Today, we'll clarify some of the most pervasive myths and uncover the rich culture and traditions of my homeland.
Through this discussion, we aim to provide accurate insights into Vietnam's culture, traditions, and realities. Let's begin. One of the most common stereotypes I've heard is that every Vietnamese person eats dog meat. Is there any truth to this?
This is a big misconception. While it's true that dog meat has historically been consumed in certain regions, especially in rural areas, it's not a mainstream or everyday dish. In fact, many Vietnamese people, especially the younger generation, oppose eating dog meat due to growing concerns about animal welfare and globalized food culture. According to a 2021 survey by 4Paws International, nearly 90% of Vietnamese respondents said they had never or rarely consumed dog meat. Vietnam's culinary identity is much broader, with dishes like pho, banh mi, and fresh spring rolls representing our food culture more accurately.
That's really interesting. It sounds like the reality is very different from what some people assume.
Exactly. Vietnam is known for its rich and diverse cuisine, and most people don't eat dog meat at all. In fact, there's a growing movement against the practice, and more people are advocating for banning it altogether.
I see. So, what are some other common misconceptions about Vietnamese food?
Many people assume our cuisine is limited to pho and banh mi, but in reality, Vietnamese food is incredibly diverse. Each region has its own specialties. Northern dishes emphasize balance and subtle flavors. Central cuisine is known for its spiciness and complexity, while southern food tends to be sweeter and more herbaceous. Dishes like bún bò Huế, cao lẩu, and bánh xèo showcase this variety. Also, people often think Vietnamese food is all about meat, but vegetarian and vegan cuisine is deeply embedded in our culture, particularly due to Buddhist influences.
That's fascinating. So, not only is Vietnamese cuisine more varied than people think, but it also has strong vegetarian traditions. That's something I wasn't aware of. We also got a listener question on this topic. Why do people assume all Vietnamese are scary because they eat cute pets for food?
That's a very outdated stereotype. Vietnam is not defined by a single food culture. Eating habits depend on historical, economic, and regional factors, not some universal mindset. In fact, movements against the dog and cat meat trade are growing, and many people today advocate for bans on this practice. This is similar to how food traditions evolve in other parts of the world.
That's such an important perspective. It sounds like this stereotype is based on outdated views rather than the modern reality. Another listener asked about a dish called gia ke. Some people think it's made with dog meat. Can you clear that up?
Actually, gia ke is a pork dish, not dog meat. The name means fake dog meat because it's cooked with similar spices like turmeric, fermented rice, and galangalto replicate the flavor of traditional dog meat dishes. But its popularity today is due to its unique taste, not any association with dog meat. It's a great example of how culinary traditions adapt over time.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. It's not actually about dog meat at all, it's just a style of cooking. That's a really useful clarification. So for people who want to avoid these misunderstandings, what's the best way to learn about Vietnam's culture more accurately?
The best way to understand Vietnam beyond stereotypes is to experience it firsthand, whether that's through travel, conversations with locals, or trying authentic Vietnamese cuisine. Also, be mindful of how media shapes perceptions. Look for Vietnamese voices authors, content creators, and historians who share deeper insights into the culture. And lastly, recognize that Vietnam is incredibly diverse. What's true for one region may not apply to another.
That's a great point. Seeking out authentic sources can really help people understand a culture beyond just media portrayals. Today, we explored some of the biggest misconceptions about Vietnam and learned how to approach cultural understanding with greater accuracy and respect.
I hope this conversation encourages listeners to dig deeper and appreciate the rich, diverse culture of Vietnam beyond outdated stereotypes.
We invite you to reflect on your own perceptions of Vietnam and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below.
And if you ever have the chance, explore Vietnamese cuisine beyond just pho and banh mi.
Absolutely. In our next episode, we'll examine the cultural nuances of Indonesia. Join us then.